Hello and welcome to another video related to your trauma healing journey. Today I wanted to talk about what happens when our system becomes overwhelmed with too much of a negative emotion. So when we are given, when we feel a certain level of emotion, whatever it may be, fear, anger, grief, when it's within a certain range, we are able to tune in, feel it, release it, support ourselves. But sometimes there are some very, very strong negative emotions that may overwhelm us. This still happens to me, happened yesterday actually. So there are certain activities that you may be doing that can be triggering, and they may trigger your own personal trauma. But often when it's a very, very intense reaction, it's either from a very early childhood, pre-conscious childhood, or from an ancestor, or it could be during your childhood again, but or even your adolescence. But if you are an empath and you are tuning into others, and there was people in your home particularly who were going through some very difficult things and were not dealing with them, you might have taken this on. And this can still happen even when you're an adult empath, but it's especially difficult if you were a child. So this happened to me with my dad when he was depressed for 2 years, and I think he really suppressed a lot of it as well. And what happens when someone, as I said, if the emotion is too much, it overwhelms the system, it kind of gets buried and suppressed. That's what the body does. The psyche also does to protect you, because the nervous system is just not able to handle this level of intense emotion. But what happens when we suppress consciously or unconsciously, usually unconsciously, our emotion, it kind of becomes like this rupture. I don't know how to call it, but it sends this energy out. So because we are not processing it inside, it is being sent outside, and we're not aware of this. However, the people that are around us, and especially, I think all people, but if you're an empath, you might especially feel this. Especially if you're an empath who's done a certain amount of healing, so is not disconnected from themselves. So you may experience a lot of negative emotions, but it's when the people around you are not dealing with them because they're overwhelmed and they suppress them, and that's when you really pick up on these. So first of all, it's very important, if possible, for the family members to be aware of this dynamic, so that the person who's suppressing these emotions can deal with them. However, as we all know, there are members of the family who are perhaps in denial and cannot deal with their emotions, in which case you may, if it's possible, you may have to separate for a time from that person, because their energy just may be really affecting you too much in a negative way. Or if you cannot do that, you will have to find a way to kind of release this energy, to realize this is not mine. Maybe through grounding, put it in the earth. Maybe through swimming in salt water, release it into the water. And the more that we also strengthen ourselves, the less we will be picking up and taking on these things. So recently, in my last video, I talked about this. I started a new homeopathic remedy, and it really just gave me this centered feeling, and the anger that one of the members of my home was experiencing, it really didn't affect me. And I think this is the first time that I had this experience. I was just so calm, and this anger was no longer being absorbed by me. I think I had been absorbing this anger for a very long time. And the other thing that happens when you strengthen your system and you're no longer absorbing this energy is that it kind of bounces off you and is projected back onto the person. So in this case, this person got very, very angry, and it was partly because I was no longer absorbing it subconsciously. So it becomes like this mirror, and as we heal, we are this energetic mirror to others, and it might be too much for some people. They will either deal with what's happening, or it will become suppressed again, but it will come up again. So these emotions are always coming up, and the reason that we are always getting triggered, not always, but the reason we get triggered is because the body wants this emotion and this wound to be healed. And so we will be triggered. This will be a chance for us to heal it, but if we're not able, it might go be suppressed again until the next time. And so this cycle happens. And even though, as you know, if you've been listening to my videos, I've done a lot of healing through various therapies. I mean, counseling therapies, as well as body therapies, alternative healing, massage, acupuncture, other methods. But sometimes, especially if we are very sensitive and empaths, working on a vibrational level can be very helpful, which is where things like homeopathy, Bach flower remedy come in, because it's like our vibration is off. Now, of course, I'm a sound healer, so I have to say the time that I feel the most balanced and connected and everything is when I am doing sound healing for others, or when I'm drumming for myself. It's a little bit difficult to play the bowls for myself because, you know, to be playing and to be in meditation, and also because the bowls send sound out this way, not up, so I don't hear them as well as the people in the sound bath or in my sound healing session. But sound healing is definitely one way. Sound healing, forms of energy healing, and then those homeopathic Bach flower remedies, things like this. Their purpose is really just to recalibrate your system and to tune it, to retune it back to what it is supposed to be, what is your healthy vibration. So, as I said yesterday, I had a very triggering thing happen. I was in fear, very intense fear for most of the day. And today I tried taking a Bach flower remedy because the homeopathic remedy I'm taking, it didn't really help. It's for other things. Sometimes you have to take several remedies at the same time, obviously with a trained homeopath. So until I have my session with him again, I took a Bach flower remedy for fear. And I think it did help me. But it's really just a matter of doing these fine-tunings. And these small things that seem like they wouldn't make a difference actually make the most difference. That's the ironic thing. Sometimes I want to do my healing in a kind of intense way, but the things that are the most subtle are actually, I find, the most healing, because the nervous system is extremely sensitive, and if we overwhelm it, it cannot process. So, you know, things like craniosacral massage, which is very energetic and very gentle, and then the other things that I mentioned. So yeah, I hope this was helpful to understanding suppressed emotions, taking on emotions, and how to deal with that. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. And if you like the sound of the ocean and you want to listen to some of my sound healing meditations, then go to my Sound Journeys YouTube channel. I actually filmed one just before this video. In the meantime, sending you love, and if you have requests for any topic for these videos, please also let me know. Take care. Bye.